Hello dear students. So in today's lecture we will discuss about further classification of kingdom Animalia. If you think about all the 5 kingdoms as suggested by Robert Whittaker, I think out of all these kingdoms, Animalia is quite a big kingdom as it contains all the types of organisms starting from simplest unicellular to complex multicellular organisms, and you have seen that whole animal kingdom is classified into 9 phyla, and each phyla has got its basic characteristics on its own. So here we will discuss with the further details of these phyla of animal kingdom. So as you have seen, the kingdom Animalia is initially classified into 2 categories, whether there is a cellular level organization or there is a tissue level organization. So the organisms of animal kingdom, which are simplest having cellular level organization, they come under the phylum that is Porifera. So first phylum of animal kingdom is Porifera. You can see these are pore bearing animals. Having pores all over their body. So if you look at further more characteristics of kingdom Porifera, so here as I said that these are the pore bearing animals having pores all over their body. Other than that, the other features of kingdom Porifera are that they have cellular level organization, then another one is, that's why they are also commonly known as sponges due to presence of pores all over their body. They are commonly known as sponges, and if you look at their body structure, their body is cylindrical and asymmetrical. So their body is cylindrical and asymmetrical, and they have, these are the diploblastic animals, means having 2 layers in their body, and they have fine pores, and these fine pores is called ostia. Body has number of fine pores called ostia, and the hollow space in the body is called osteocele. Which opens through the opening called osculum. And if we look at their mode of reproduction by budding generally. For example, there is cycon. Another one is Euplectella. And another one is Spongia. So these are the general characteristics of phylum Porifera. As the name shows, Porifera means their whole body is covered with pores. So they have got cellular level of organization. No tissue formation is there. And body is cylindrical and asymmetrical. Asymmetrical means you cannot divide the body through any plane in two identical halves, right? That's why it is known as asymmetrical body. And the pores present on the body of Poriferan are known as ostia, and the whole body cavity which is present inside their body, that body cavity is known as osteocele, and through which it opens through an opening, and that opening is known as osculum. Here the mode of reproduction is the asexual mode of reproduction, and this asexual mode of reproduction is generally by the process called budding, right? If you look at the example, as I have already said, that these are basically commonly known as sponges. So all the sponges like cycon, Euplectella, Spongilla, etc., they all come under this category. And one more feature is they are having mostly marine habitat. Marine habitat means they inhabit in sea water. Mostly marine habitat except one or two. And what is the function of these ostia? Through these ostia, the water along with the important nutrients like oxygen and other food particles, it enters through the body through these ostia, and it goes out along with all the biological waste through osculum. So in this way, presence of pores help the poriferans to obtain their nutrients and other raw materials from the surroundings, right? Then another phylum which we have here in animal kingdom is the phylum which is known as Coelenterata. So if you look at the characteristics of Coelenterata, these animals are having some kind of differentiation. So here body differentiation has a start, and if you look at their general characteristics, they are radially symmetrical, and having tissue level of organization. That means their body is a bit complex as compared to Porifera, and like Porifera, they are also diploblastic. That means body has two layers, that is endoderm and ectoderm. The inner layer is endoderm and the external layer is ectoderm. And another important property is except Hydra, all are marine. may be colonial or sedentary. And for example, if you talk about corals, corals are colonial, and their exoskeleton is formed by their coral reefs. If you look at the examples of Coelenterata, they are hydra, jellyfish, and sea anemone. So these are the general features of phylum Coelenterata. Coelenterata are the animals that are having tissue level of organization. The body structure has become a bit more complicated. As you have seen in Porifera, the organization level was cellular level organization. So here the tissue level organization, body is radially symmetrical. Radially symmetrical again means that we can cut the body into identical halves along any axis. Diploblastic, like Porifera, they are also diploblastic, having two layers, endoderm and ectoderm. And if you look at their habitat, only hydra is the freshwater coelenterate, and rest all are marine animals. And they may be colonial or they may be sedentary, means either they are in the form of groups, number of individuals combined together to form a group. That way they are known as colonial. Or sedentary means you can say they may be solitary. Solitary means they are living individually. Sedentary means they remain attached to a surface or to a solid support, not free moving. For example, if you talk about corals, corals are colonial, and they form the exoskeleton of coral reefs. And if you look at the examples of phylum Coelenterata, so these are hydra, jellyfish, sea anemone. They are the common examples which are commonly known, and that is the case of Coelenterata. So next phylum here is the phylum that is known as Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes are commonly known as flatworms, as their body is bilaterally symmetrical, or better to say the body is dorsoventrally flattened like leaf. So the next phylum is Platyhelminthes, which are also commonly known as flatworms, right? And if you look at the characteristics of flatworms, as I already said, that the body is dorsiventrally flattened, and the body is bilaterally symmetrical. The body is ribbon shaped or leaf like. So it is bilaterally symmetrical, dorsiventrally flattened like leaf. As a leaf is flat from both the sides, their body is also same, And now here the organ system has started forming. So you can say that they have organ system of organization. As the complexity has increased from tissue level, cellular level to tissue level and then organ level, and again they are acoelomate. Acoelomate means they have no body cavity, hence also called solid worms. And mostly parasitic. And another one is respiration is anaerobic. As they are parasitic, they live in the body of host, so they do not get oxygen for their respiration. So the mode of respiration is anaerobic, that means it occurs in absence of oxygen, and they are bisexual or also known as hermaphrodite. So they are bisexual or hermaphrodite. For example, Planaria, and another one is liver fluke or tapeworm. So these are the features of phylum Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, as you can remember it from the term plate-like, that body is flat. That's why they are known as flatworms. The body is bilaterally symmetrical, means you can divide the body in two identical halves across only one plane, and dorsiventrally flattened from both the sides. As you see a leaf, the leaf is flattened from both the sides, like that their body is also dorsiventrally flattened. And as I have said that they are have a bit more complex structure, so this time there is organ formation has started. So they are having organ level of organization or organ system organization. Again, they are lacking any true body cavity. That's why they are known as acoelomate. And due to absence of body cavity, these are also known as solid worms. If you look at their mode of nutrition, so mostly parasitic except Planaria. Planaria is a free living Platyhelminthes. And the mode of nutrition is anaerobic, as they are you can say parasitic. They live in the bodies of living host. That's why they don't get free oxygen for their aerobic mode of respiration. Bisexual or hermaphrodite means both male and female reproductive organs are present in the same individual. The example here is Planaria, another one is liver fluke. Liver fluke, as the name shows, it is the parasite which is found in the liver of animals, and tapeworm is the worm which is found in the intestine of the human beings. So that is a group of organisms known as flatworms or Planaria. After that, another phylum which is present here in animal kingdom is Nematoda. And nematoda are also commonly known as roundworm, as their body is rounded or cylindrical, you can say. And now this time the nematoda is having a false type of body cavity, that is known as pseudocoelom, and that's why these are also known as pseudocoelomate. So next phylum here is Nematoda. Nematoda, which are also commonly known as roundworms. So as the name shows, as they are roundworms, their body is cylindrical, and because of that cylindrical body, they are roundworm. If you look at their features, they are bilaterally symmetrical and pseudocoelomate. Bilaterally symmetrical again means the body can be divided into identical halves. Pseudocoelomate, that means they have a false type of body cavity. No true body cavity is present here in the phylum Nematoda. So pseudocoelomate organisms, and mode of nutrition is again parasitic. Some are microscopic, some are so small that they are microscopic, and absence of respiratory and circulatory system. And the sexes are separate, or you can say male and female organisms have different appearance. So they are either free living or parasites in plants or animals. If you look the examples of roundworms, the most common one is Ascaris. And another one is Wuchereria. Which is also known as filarial worms, causing filaria, or which is also known as elephantiasis. So the another phylum of animal kingdom is Nematoda, commonly known as roundworms, and as you have seen, their body is bilaterally symmetrical, cylindrical body, and pseudocoelomate, not having any true type of body cavity, and parasitic mode of nutrition. Some of these are extremely small, they are microscopic except Ascaris and other, and absence, they do not have any respiratory or circulatory system, and unlike Platyhelminthes, as in Platyhelminthes, you have seen they were bisexual or hermaphrodite, but here in case of Nematoda, they are having male and female organisms separated. So they have different appearance in males and females. Some of them are free living, whereas some are parasitic in plants and animals. The common examples are Ascaris, commonly known as roundworm, and the another one is Wuchereria, which is also known as filarial worms, as it is responsible for the disease called filaria, or also known as elephantiasis. As due to disease filaria or elephantiasis, the feet of the patients, they swell and become heavy like the elephant. That's why the disease is also known as elephantiasis, right? So till now we were talking about the pseudocoelomate, as you have seen starting, that the organisms which are not having cellular level organization or which are having tissue level organization were further categorized in the two categories, whether they have a true body cavity or not, right? So if there is a false type of body cavity, then it is known as what? It is known as nematoda. And if they have a body cavity, in that case you have seen whether these organisms are schizocoelomate or enterocoelomate, right? Whether the body cavity or coelom has developed from a single mesodermal cell during the growth of embryo, and such organisms are known as schizocoelomate. Under this category of schizocoelomate, we have the phylum, that is these are Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusea. So next we start with the another phylum, and that phylum is Annelida. And after Annelida, we will discuss with the next phylum, and that is Mollusea. So Annelida, Mollusea and Arthropoda, they all belong to the subkingdom, or you can say to the group known as schizocoelomate, depending upon their mode of development of their coelom. So here first we start with phylum Annelida. So if you look at the characteristics features of phylum Annelida, it is also known as segmented worms, as their body is segmented from top to bottom. And this segmentation is both externally as well as internally. So it's not like that the segments are present only outside. The segments are present inside, or you can say the body is metamerically segmented, means having both external segmentation as well as internal segmentation. So annelids are the truly segmented animals. And if you look at the feature of their body is again triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, and metamerically segmented. right? Metamerically segmented means they are having external as well as internal segments, and they have a true body cavity called Phylum. And each segment of the body has fine structures made up of chitin. So all the segments of the body has a chitinous bristles like called CT, and that help in locomotion of these organisms. And here again some more complexity has started. That's why they have digestive circulatory and excretory organs well developed. So their digestive, circulatory and excretory organs are well developed. If you look at the examples in this category are earthworm, biologically known as Pheretima posthuma, and another one is Nereis, or also commonly known as centipede, etc. So that is about the phylum Annelida, also known as segmented worms. These organisms are having segmented body. The segmentation is both externally as well as internally. Triploblastic animals, which are bilaterally symmetrical, as said, metamerically segmented. True body cavity is present, and that true body cavity is known as Phylum. Each segment has fine chitinous bristles like spike-like structures, and that chitinous bristles are known as CT, and these CT help in locomotion of organisms. They have well-developed digestive, circulatory and excretory organs, and the examples here are common examples. Earthworm. Earthworm, you know, are known as the best friends of farmers because they make the soil porous, which increases the water retention and air retention capacity of soil, making or increasing the fertility of soil. And another one, another phylum here in this animal kingdom is Arthropoda. Arthropoda, you can say these are the animals having jointed legs. As the name shows, the name itself is made up of two terms. One is arthro, another one is poda. Arthro means jointed and poda means legs. As they have jointed legs, so you can say it is the largest phylum of animal kingdom. Almost you can say 80% of the animals, they belong to the phylum Arthropoda. If you look at the other features of phylum Arthropoda, that they have jointed legs, they have compound eyes, a pair of antenna, the whole body cavity is full of blood that lacks hemoglobin. That's why their blood is white. They have open type of circulatory system. And body is segmented into 3 parts. And these 3 parts are head, thorax and abdomen, and body covered with chitin, found in all kinds of habitat, whether land or water. They can fly also, they can swim also. So as they have got very versatile characteristics, that's why I think that the largest phylum of animal kingdom is the Arthropoda. If we look at the example, cockroaches, mosquitoes, houseflies, spiders and the long list. So all insects, they come under the category Arthropoda. So here we have seen Arthropoda. The name arises from the term arthro means jointed and poda means legs. So their special feature is that they have jointed legs. The largest phylum of animal kingdom, containing approximately 80% of the animals, they have jointed legs and compound eyes. Here a unique feature in Arthropoda is they have compound eyes, like we have a single eye which provides us complete vision. But in Arthropoda they have a segmented eye, which is the part of which is a combination of number of parts, and every part provide a partial vision. So the whole vision is obtained by the combination of the images formed by the various parts. That's why here the vision in case of arthropod is known as mosaic vision. So compound eyes that provide them the mosaic vision, they have a pair of antenna, and the body cavity is full of blood, and that blood is not having any hemoglobin. Why the body cavity is full of blood? Because they have an open type of circulatory system. Body is segmented into 3 parts, head, thorax and abdomen, and body is covered with chitin. And here the examples you can see, the all insects, mosquitoes, houseflies and butterflies, cockroaches and a long list that comes under this category, right? And another phylum here is the phylum Mollusca, and another one is, after phylum Mollusca we have the another one, that is Echnodermata. So if you look at the characteristics of phylum Mollusca, these are known as soft bodied animals. And as they are soft-bodied animals, they have a hard covering of calcium carbonate. So their body is unsegmented. They have unsegmented body enclosed in shell of calcium carbonate. So they have a hard covering over their body, and again body is triploblastic. And bilaterally symmetrical and having a true body cavity. And due to presence of true body cavity, these are also known as coelomate. And body is divided into three parts. And these three parts are head, foot and visceral mass. Head, they have a single foot and a visceral mass that helps in getting rid of waste material. And respiration is either by gills or lungs. And another one is coelom is reduced, and they have open circulatory system, and one more important thing is here that formation of excretory system starts here the first time excretory system formation starts, and the blood is blue due to the pigment called hemocyanin. So as they have the blue pigment called hemocyanin, because of which their blood is blue. If you look at the example, here are pila and octopus, unio, etc. Right? And another phylum of the animal kingdom here is Echnodermata. Echnodermata is again a combination of two terms. Echnos means hedgehog or spiny, and dermata means skin. As they have hedgehog skin or spiny skin, that's why they are known as Echnodermata. And if you look at the body is either star-shaped or cylindrical. They have a peculiar water-driven canal system that helps in locomotion. Right? Then another feature here is these are marine animals. That means they live in sea water and they have capability of regeneration. If you look at the examples of Echinodermata, the most common example here is a starfish. Another one is sea cucumber. And sea urchin. Right? So these are the examples of the phylum Echinodermata. So if you look at the features of phylum Mollusca and Echinodermata, as I said that Mollusca are commonly known as soft-bodied animals. They have unsegmented body which is covered by a hard covering made up of calcium carbonate. Triploblastic bilaterally symmetrical animals, coelomate having true body cavity. Body is divided into three parts: head, foot and visceral mass. And here the respiration is either by the gills or lungs. Coelom is reduced in size, and here the first time excretory system formation starts. And one more special feature here in case of mollusca, that their blood is blue because they do not contain the pigment hemoglobin. On the other hand, they contain the pigment hemocyanin. For example, Pila, Octopus, Unio are the common examples of phylum Mollusca. Another phylum here is Echinodermata. Echinodermata are having hedgehog skin, and their body is either star-shaped or cylindrical, and in all body there is a fine tube-like structure through which water flows, and this flow of water helps them in locomotion. So they have a peculiar water-driven canal system that helps them in locomotion. They are the marine animals again, and they have got an additional capability of regeneration. Regeneration means if you cut the organisms into number of pieces, then every piece develops into a new organism. For example, if you cut the starfish into number of parts, then every part will develop into the new organism, and this ability is known as regeneration. Regeneration means the ability to redevelop its lost body part. The example here are starfish, sea cucumber, sea urchin and so on. Right? So that is all about the 8 phyla of the animal kingdom. The one more phylum, that is Chordata, and its further subdivision, that we'll be discussing in our next lecture. Have a nice time. Goodbye till then.